Hi, do you have a fear of the driving test? Maybe you've got a driving test coming up soon and you're already starting to feel anxious and worried and scared about it. Well, how would you like to take your driving test without those negative feelings? How would you like to take your driving test feeling calm and positive and driving even better than you do normally on your lessons? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain how you can do that. My name's Paul and I've been a driving instructor for over 20 years here in the UK. I've taught over 1,000 people to drive and I've been on hundreds of driving tests. But what really sets me apart from other people who do this kind of thing is I'm also a professional hypnotist. So I understand the mind, how it works, how you think, and I understand exactly what makes people nervous. I've worked with people all over the world and taken people from being so scared that they can't even get in the car to being so confident they go out driving just for the fun of it. So in this video, I'm going to share some hints and tips. And if you've got any questions about this, please leave them in the comments and I'll answer them in the comments, or I'll even make videos in the future where I answer your particular question. So first of all, let's have a look at why people get nervous. Where do nerves come from? If you understand where they come from, you can understand how to stop them. So nerves are caused by thoughts. That's all it is. You're not actually scared of the driving test itself. Now that might seem funny. You might say, well, I am, because when I go on my test I'm shaking and I'm nervous and I just can't stop being scared. You're not scared of the test. What you're scared of is the thoughts in your head. Now, you can't really get rid of thoughts, but what you can do is change them. So one of the key things you need to do if you want to be comfortable and calm when you're driving is to change the thoughts that are in your head. You may have seen people driving around, people like me who drive around all the time, and you might think, how could anyone work as a driving instructor? How can that person go out for a drive for fun? Why don't they get scared? It's simply because of the things that I'm thinking in my mind. I have different thoughts in my mind to what you have in your mind. If I say to you now, driving, what do you think of when I say driving? What do you think of when I say driving test? What images and what thoughts have you got in your head right now? If you're scared of the driving test, you've probably got negative images and negative thoughts in your mind. I want you to let me know, write in the comments, what thoughts have you got when you think of the driving test. If you've already passed it, let me know what thoughts you had, but what comes to mind? What are you thinking of when you think of the driving test? One of the main things you need to do to stop being nervous on a driving test and get over the fear of the driving test is to simply change those thoughts. Now, I have made some free tracks which I'll link to on the screen now and in the description below, but there is one hypnosis track I made which can help change the way you think. Now remember, you can't get rid of thoughts, so trying to get rid of them completely. Sometimes I say that, like, get rid of your thoughts, that's what people think it is, but you can't actually get rid of them, you can only change them. If you listen to the hypnosis track, which I'll link to on the screen now, as long as you're watching on a phone or a desktop, you should see a link at the top of the screen there. It's also in the description, and it's the track I made called Hypnosis for Driving Anxiety, and that helps you to change the way you think about things. But what else can you do? Well, sometimes the reason you've got a fear of the driving test is because a part of your mind actually doesn't want you to pass. Now, what can happen is sometimes, for some reason, some part of you, this is what we call a conflict. I don't want to use too many technical terms, but we call this an inner conflict. Parts of you wants to pass your driving test. Maybe most parts of you want to pass your driving test, but there is another part of you that doesn't want to pass. Why? Well, I'm going to link to another video now. If you click on that video, that one is made especially for driving tests. That video will allow you to go into your mind and find the part of your mind that is causing you the problem. And you even get to talk to that part. Yes, that's right. You're going to get to talk to your driving test nerves. How crazy does that sound? So crazy I can't even say properly. It sounds mad, but it is quite mad and it's quite fun to do. Many people have watched that video. I think it's up to 4,000 views at the time I record this, and it's starting to take off, and it's going to get loads more views as time goes by, because people are realising that yes, you do need to learn to drive properly. Yes, a large part of what you do is about driving in the car and knowing what to do. But there is a large element which people have ignored up until now, which is the mental side of things. There's no point in just being able to drive a car if you go to pop and you fall to pieces when an examiner gets in the car. These videos I've made are designed to help you overcome any mental blocks you may have. So you've got 2 good videos to get you started there already. You've got the one that can change the way you think about things. You've got the second one which can allow you to speak to the problem. I've also made a 3rd video which is called Hypnosis for Driving Confidence. That one is also linked on the screen now. I'm pointing up here because if you're watching on a computer you'll see a link appear on the screen there. That one goes through a technique where what it does is, it's like the first one in a way, but it's a different approach. It changes the way you think about driving. If you've had a bad experience, say with an instructor or some road rage incident or whatever, that video allows you to change the way you view that experience. So those are 3 things you can do to overcome your driving test nerves. Change the way you think about the driving test, confront the part of you that's giving you the problem and change it, and you can also change any bad experiences you've had of driving. Now, I don't make these videos too long because I know people don't have a lot of spare time, but those are 3 great ways you can overcome driving test nerves. It may not be nerves, it may just be you hate the test and it makes you feel shaky and anxious. But you're not always nervous. Sometimes people get quite frustrated thinking, why do I feel like this? I'm normally so confident. Let me tell you something, the driving test gets everyone. Even I was a bit shaky when I did my test. I can still remember it all those years ago. Even me, with all my skill of driving, I was a good learner. I went straight through my lessons. My instructor said, you're a natural. And I went on to become a driving instructor, so I was really good. It got me. I was still quite nervous on my test. When you get these people who say, oh, I'm not nervous, and doesn't bother me, they're shaking like this, doesn't bother me, I'm not scared, no, I'm fine. Everyone gets nervous about the driving test. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And if you didn't, well, there is a reason for that I could talk about in future videos. So I hope this video has helped you. Do check out those other ones. And I am now offering one-to-one sessions over Zoom to help people overcome their driving test nerves. If you've got a driving test coming up and you'd like to do a session with me one-to-one, maybe the night before your driving test, maybe you want to do 2 or 3 nights running up to your driving test, I can take you through some techniques like the one I mentioned, and we can work one-to-one on your problem and we can get rid of it once and for all. Doesn't matter where you are, I work with people all over the world. I've worked with people in America, Australia, Poland, all over the place. We can work out a time that works for us both, and we can help you get through your driving test. I don't need to know where it is, like if it's, driver's ed in America. I don't really know what happens on that. Doesn't matter. You know, and that's all that matters. I can just help you to tune in your confidence. So check out these other videos on the screen now for more help. Thanks for watching. Leave any questions you've got in the comments. And as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.